At this point, I'm just wondering if maybe I'm never meant to get totally caught up on my CD listening backlog. Maybe I'm just destined to always have one. Greetings, one and all, and welcome back to Tom's Hit Parade. By the way, I invite you to hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up if you like what you see, share this video with your friends, and leave me your thoughts down in the comment section. That would be just Jim Dandy. So, yes, as you can see by the thumbnail and the title of this video, I went on another thrift store crawl over the last couple weekends, actually. Actually, this past weekend and 2 weekends ago. I had Fridays off both weekends, for this past Friday for Juneteenth, and I actually had a doctor's appointment 2 Fridays ago. So, yeah, did kind of like, did half of the thrift stores that Friday and the other half this Friday, and found a bunch of great stuff. And yeah, just when I think I am done collecting CDs, the itch comes back and strikes me again. And as I said in the cold open, I'm just about to start facing the fact that I will always have a CD listening backlog. And when there are so many good CDs out there for $2 or less, how can you blame me? Yes, I am throwing in a couple of CDs in here to show you that I got from a house of records. But yes, all the CDs here I spent $2 or less on at the Goodwill stores in the area. CDs are $1.99, and some colored tags are on sale, so you get like what 10% off on any given day. So on average, I spent less than $1.99 per CD at Goodwill, and at the St. Vinnie stores they are 99 cents a piece. So how can you go wrong with that? So let's go ahead and get started. I've got about 40 CDs to show you. I got a couple of artists where I found 2 CDs by each artist, and went ahead and picked them up because I've kind of been, well, I'm a fan of each of them to varying degrees, and wanted to listen to more of them. First up is Mandy Moore. Yes, and actually these two I found at House of Records for $2 each. This is her debut self-titled album. Gotta show you the backs of the CDs. And yes, I've had her third album, Coverage, which is a covers album, for 20 years and have enjoyed it, and it has never left my collection. And here is her sophomore album, So Real. And yes, I really enjoyed that, and I've just never really bothered to check out her first and second albums, which are these two. So yeah, decided to pick them up. And I was done basically collecting all of the Mariah Carey that I had cared to collect, because after the point where I had stopped until now, she'd kind of gone into a bit more of a hip hop direction, which I'm not crazy about. But when the CDs are there, they're just such a temptation, especially for somebody like me. I go ahead and pick them up, give them a try. Maybe I'll like them more than I think I suspect I will. But yes, this is her sixth album, Butterfly. And yeah, 99 cents each. And then her follow-up, Rainbow. So yeah, not a fan of much hip hop, but figure she's got a great voice, and obviously I like her enough to have her first 5 albums, so get some more. And here's an artist that I started getting into because of my sister. She had a few of his albums in her collection that I inherited from her, and I have developed a bit of a liking for him in recent years, particularly pandemic forward. He's been a bit of a jerk in other ways, but he's a great musician and has been doing his thing for decades. We're talking Van Morrison. Decided to pick up his album Back on Top. And yes, as a musician, he's pretty darn good. As a person, some of his viewpoints, particularly during the pandemic, as I said, I do not agree with. But anyway, and here's his other album, The Healing Game. So yes, I'm looking forward to listening to these. I haven't listened to them yet, but yes, I mean, obviously, I've owned his album Moondance for many, many years. Really, really enjoy that one. And a couple of his albums from my sister's collection, I actually rather liked. Magic Time is a particular favorite of mine. So yeah, these are kind of from that approximate era of his stuff. His more recent stuff, I'm not going to bother checking out, but yeah, his classic stuff, sure, why not? And then here's another artist. I've had her Unforgettable album in its various iterations for a long, long time in my collection. So I figured I'd check out more of Natalie Cole. This one, I've seen several of her CDs at the thrift stores many times. This one I have not seen very often. It's called Leavin'. Yeah. And yeah, it's got a good bunch of stuff. Yeah, her early stuff, the more pop type of stuff, not crazy about. I actually had a hits collection of hers, but I got rid of it just because just didn't speak to me, if you will. But her later years, where she started getting into the contemporary or the jazz stuff, where she did interpretations of songbook standards and stuff, I actually rather enjoy that stuff. So, and here's another one, Ask a Woman Who Knows. And I actually bought one or two others that I'm not showing you in this collection. So, yeah, I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm only showing you most of what I got. But yeah, I do enjoy her voice. She's a very, very excellent singer. Did she pass away? I can't remember I think she is gone. Yeah, unfortunately. And then we have another Cole, no relation. This is a Canadian singer-songwriter, Holly Cole. And she does kind of roughly the same kind of stuff, kind of a jazzy vocal type stuff. And yes, I've got two of her albums, two or three of them, up until my thrift store crawl this week. So yeah. This is Temptation. That's the name of this album. And then we have the Holly Cole Trio with Blame It on My Youth. This is one of her earlier albums. So yes, looking forward to checking out more of her stuff. I do enjoy her a fair bit. So then we're moving on to other stuff. I've got a collection of, 5 and now 6, I think, of this guy's remastered albums. We've got John Mellencamp. I've seemed to have found one during each of my circuits of thrift stores, every couple of months as I go. And yes, this is whenever we wanted. And yes, as you can tell, this is the remastered one. The spines on the remastered ones look like this, and they have kind of they were done in 2005, so they've got the 2005 copyright dates on them, and each one of them has at least one bonus track on it. So I am missing Big Daddy and Dance Naked. So I'm looking for those two, the remastered versions of them. So, and then I will probably be satisfied with my accumulation of John Mellencamp. Now this one, I used to have the American version of this, but this one caught my eye. It is the Japanese release, and it is under a different title. This is The Voice of Michael McDonald. In the States, in the North American version was The Very Best of Michael McDonald. And I believe it's the same track listing. I haven't actually checked, to make sure the track listing is identical, but it is very, very similar at least. So, but yeah, I figured, I saw the Japanese text there and it kind of caught my eye, and I figured, hey, this one, to have kind of an unusual version of it, I'm going to hold on to this one. And obviously, it's got his great hits on here. The hits with the Doobie Brothers, What a Fool Believes, that one's great. And On My Own, his duet with Patti LaBelle, and Minute by Minute, which is a great, great song. I Keep Forgetting Every Time You're Near. So, yeah, the track listing is packed with great songs. So, excuse me. And then here's another one. Oh, actually, let me take a quick drink here. I'm a bit parched in the throat. Got a couple CDs here that, given the size of my listening backlog, I try to avoid picking up stuff that I'm not familiar with, to give it a try, because I've probably already got enough of that stuff and enough stuff that I really have a vested interest, if you will, in listening to. But these two just kind of looked a little too intriguing not to pick up. So I don't know who these next two artists are, or what to expect. I haven't listened to the albums yet, but they looked intriguing. Tokyo Myers, I guess he was a contestant on Britain's Got Talent, or one of the Got Talent shows, and looks kind of like hip hop, but I guess he is a pianist, so it may be kind of jazz inflected, is kind of the impression that I'm getting from what I quickly read while I was at the St. Vinnie store. Quickly read online that this might sound like. So it was intriguing. Anything that isn't clearly a specific genre, I'm a little bit more tempted to give a try to. And then this one, I never heard of these guys either. Verbo is the name of the band, not related to the travel rental company, obviously. Chronicles is the name of the CD of the album. I think this was their one and only major label album, 1997, and so it was on Sony labels. Recorded and mixed by Bob Mould. So yeah, it's supposedly it's rock, basically rock. So I figured I'd give it a shot. And then the next one here, I have no idea why I got rid of this, but I did years ago. I could kick myself, as I've said many times before, with the stuff that I've gotten rid of. But as I said, I have no idea why I got rid of it, but I'm glad I picked it up again, and it makes it all the sweeter that I only had to pay 99 cents for it. Tapestry Revisited, a tribute to Carole King. Yes, like I said, I don't know what possessed me to get rid of it. I must have been really, really, really hurting for shelf space at the time. But yes, Rod Stewart, Amy Grant, Richard Marx, Blessed Union of Souls, Faith Hill, the Bee Gees, the Manhattan Transfer, and more do the songs of Carole King from her album Tapestry. So, yeah. And then I found a couple of 2-disc hits albums that I figured, might as well grab them and give them a shot. I do like the artists to varying degrees. Here we have James Brown, a 2-disc set, JB40, the 40th anniversary collection. Yeah, was very happy to see this one. And then this one was at the Goodwill for $1.99. Discs are in fantastic condition. I almost never buy them unless the discs are in spotless condition or very, very few scratches on them. But yeah, great collection. It does not have Living in America, the song from Rocky IV, but then I've got that on another CD anyway. So, and the other one I found, not super crazy about this artist, but when I see a 2-disc hits collection and I don't have any of his stuff previously, I'm going to give it a shot. Joe Cocker. So yeah. So 2 discs full of Joe Cocker, and I've got several of these gold volumes in my collection already. So yeah, not a bad grab for and this one was at St. Vinnie, so it was 99 cents. So you can find some great stuff at the thrift stores, at least in this area, the Eugene Springfield area. And this one, classic soul album that I have never actually listened to, and it was at this one was at Goodwill. Roberta Flack and Donny Hathaway. So yeah, definitely looking forward to finally giving this album a proper listen. It is a soul classic, as I said. What was it? 1972. So yeah. And this next one comes with a neat little story. I'll see if I can get through it really quickly. I had gotten rid of his last album that I had, just in my recent purge to just to conserve as much shelf space as I can. But then I found this one and went ahead and picked it up. And thankfully, that purge that I just mentioned was recent enough that the CD was still out in the donations pile, so I was able to pluck it out of purgatory and add it back to my collection. And this makes my collection of Clay Aiken complete. So yes, this is his album Steadfast. Tried and True was the album that I had in my cast-offs pile and picked back up. So yes, this one and Tried and True, if you don't know, are covers albums of Great American Songbook standards, classic pop and soul stuff. So, but yes, excellent voice on this guy. One of my favorite Idol alumni of all time. So yeah, very happy to now have a complete Clay Aiken collection. So yeah, very cool. Now this next one, it probably delves more into gospel than I care to like or to have in my collection. But then it is classic country, and I'm getting more and more into classic country. So when you think about it, to a certain extent, classic country and gospel basically go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other, because you go to any classic Johnny Cash album or other classic country artists, you're going to have some gospel on them. Even you even can't even escape gospel completely with Elvis Presley. He's going to have some on there. But anyway, the Carter Family. This was their album, Can the Circle Be Unbroken? So yes, and it was, and the price point obviously is one other reason why I could not resist picking it up, giving it a chance. I may enjoy it a whole lot more than I expect I will. So yeah. And yes, I've been picking up quite a few of these American Milestones country uh, albums lately. So yes, trying to expand my uh, sphere of awareness when it comes to music. So yes, that's the first half of the haul. This next one is another artist I am not familiar with, but the track listing compelled me to pick it up. Catherine Jenkins, I believe she is kind of a one of those popra crossover artists, kind of like Sarah Brightman and oh, who else am I thinking? I'm trying to can't think of uh, who else. But then she does. Well, this track listing looks like it's about half pop-ish stuff and probably actually a little more pop than it has classical or opera influenced stuff. But one thing on the track listing intrigued me. Track 7, Hymn to the Fallen. I looked at that and I thought, there's a selection on the John Williams soundtrack to Saving Private Ryan that is, I believe it's Saving Private Ryan, that has that name. And sure enough, I looked inside the booklet here, and the writing credit for Hymn to the Fallen was Jay Williams. So it is a vocal adaptation of a John Williams piece. So how could I not pick this up and give that a shot? So, so yes, very much looking forward to what that sounds like and comparing it to John Williams' orchestral original. So yeah, and then here's a classic that I couldn't pass up. We've got Mel Torme and his one of his classic albums, That's All. And it's actually got, as you can see by the hype sticker, it's got the original album plus just as many bonus tracks on there. So it's like a double length album with filled out by other singles from his Columbia years. So yeah, I did pick up a greatest hits of Mel Torme. Not sure if I'll still keep that one. I need to check and see how much overlap there is in the track listing because I think his tenure with Columbia was not very long. So there may be a lot of common tracks between the two CDs. But yes, I've always appreciated Mel Torme. He's got a great voice. And then we have here's something that I've picked up one or two of her albums here and there, listened to them, kind of liked them, not enough to keep them, but now I found a best of that I'm going to probably hang on to for a while. Diane Shure, she is a singer, and I think maybe she's also a pianist. But yeah, she's been a singer for a long, long time, mostly on the GRP label. Sings jazz and jazz pop stuff, and yeah, interesting artist. And she, not that this affects her singing ability or anything, but she is actually blind. She has been blind, I think, from birth. So yes, one of the other things that kind of distinguishes her from the pack of singers. And then here's another guy that I have never listened to before, so I'm not sure, at least not consciously that I'm aware of listened to before. But yes, this album was there and it looked interesting. And it is an album of Gershwin interpretations, so I like the Great American Songbook stuff. So Jack Jones, the Gershwin album. Figured I'd give it a try. And I think he is a country artist, country singer primarily. I might be confusing him with somebody else. Maybe I'm confusing him with George Jones. Anyway, but yeah, I figured it's got a bunch of good sounding, good songs on here. So yeah, we'll be interested to hear his interpretations of them. Then we've got a couple albums here by a violinist, and he delves into the um, bluegrass genre. Brain fart. The bluegrass genre mostly, but these two albums are kind of seem outside that genre. So I figured I'd give him a shot. And he has performed with a couple of other artists whose albums I have. So I have other albums that have this guy on it, not necessarily as the star of the album, but yes, Mark O'Connor. This is actually, obviously, as you can tell, this is a swing album full of swing songs. Wynton Marsalis, Jane Monite, the singer. Well, I guess those are the only significant guest stars on there. But yes, some interpretations of classic songs. Honeysuckle Rose, I've always liked Honeysuckle Rose. And fascinating rhythm as time goes by. So yeah, this will be interesting to hear. A different side of Mark O'Connor. And here's another different side of Mark O'Connor. Presumably, this could be a little bit bluegrassy, country-ish, but Yes, the American Seasons. I guess it's his own composition, which is kind of like his own version of the Four Seasons, but it's not the Vivaldi composition. So yeah, it's kind of a classical suite for violin and orchestra, and he does a couple of other uh, original compositions on here as well. So yes, a hymn with an orchestra. It's another kind of delving into the classical side, I guess, if you will. So yes, always interested to hear other sides of artists that I have heard some stuff from before. So yeah. If that makes sense, I'm not sure if it does. And here's another one. I've got a couple albums by this guy or this artist, this duo, and have enjoyed their stuff for a while. Acoustic Alchemy, and this is their album Back on the Case. And I've got the album that's either right before or right after this, and one other one from later on in their career. So yes, I guess I'm starting to develop a collection of Acoustic Alchemy stuff. Yes, good artists. They make some good stuff, good songs. And then here's an artist I've kind of been curious about. Oh, I just noticed uh, on the cover of the album, he's playing a guitar. This is Toots Thielman. He's primarily known as a harmonica player. So, but I guess he plays guitar also. But yes, he was a featured artist in at least one John Williams soundtrack. And yes, because Steven Spielberg pronounced his name in the documentary Music by John Williams, I know how to pronounce his name, Toots Thielman. I would have gotten it wrong. But so yeah, I figured I'd pick up an album of his stuff and check it out and give it a good shot. So to hear something other than the stuff that he's done for soundtracks for John Williams and whatnot. So yeah, a couple of other jazz-ish stuff things here. Jeff Lorber, I've got a couple of albums, one or two albums of his already, and really like him. He is a trumpet, guitar, I can't remember. Brain fart. This video is full of brain farts. But yes, it's on the Narada Jazz labels, which is a favorite label of mine, so I figured I'd pick it up. It's called Flipside. So yeah, looking forward to, as I am looking forward to listening to all of these. And then another Narada artist, I've got two of his albums so far, and found the next of his there at the thrift store. This was at Goodwill, I'm pretty sure. Ralph Illenberger with his at least third album, his third Narada album, Soleil. So yes, I do enjoy his stuff. It's got a good kind of a laid back acoustic guitar, new agey-ish type of stuff. Now this one kind of caught my eye. Never heard of this guy before, and this is a Latin release from Universal Musica label, but he doesn't have a Latin name. Interesting. Arthur Hanlon with his album Piano Sin Fronteras, so Piano Without Frontiers. And as you can see, it's got some Latin guest artists on here: Juanes, Luis Fonsi, Laura Pausini, and others. So yes, it looked interesting. So I figured I might as well pick it up. Something that you probably won't see at a lot of used record stores in the area. So yeah. So yeah, it's got some Cafe con Leche, which I think is a standard tune in Latin repertoires and stuff. So yeah, it looked intriguing and interesting. So I just thought I'd go ahead and pick it up and give it a shot. So then I have a couple of, sort of moving into the soundtrack portion, which is going to be the last part of this. A couple of Disney-inspired albums. I've kind of started collecting those. I rather enjoy them, even though I have seen an embarrassingly few of the animated Disney movies from the classic years. This is the Disney album by Barbara Cook. I guess she is a kind of a classically inspired vocalist, so it'll be interesting to hear her interpretations of these classic songs. So yeah, could be fun. And then this one, I may have had this one before, got rid of it. I don't know why. Maybe because the CD was not in very good condition. That might have been the reason. But Arthur Fiedler and the Boston Pops Orchestra, salute to Disney. So yes, always up for getting some Boston Pops, even if it's not John Williams. Well, I've already got the whole John Williams Boston Pops collection. So And then another kind of soundtrack related title here. And yeah, I found some good stuff, as you're about to see coming up toward the end of this set here. Some good stuff at the Goodwill stores. Here's music from the movies of Clint Eastwood. It's a compilation of themes from movies that starred Clint Eastwood. And I guess Eastwood himself delves into composing. I don't know if he actually plays any instruments or not, but he's at least a composer. I think that's from what I gather. And I think there's some of the original compositions by his on here. So possibly I may be wrong, but yeah, some good themes from Rawhide, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, The Outlaw Josie Wales, Pale Rider, Dirty Harry. So it's always up for getting a collection of soundtrack hits. Now this one was at House of Records. This was the third of three at House of Records. The Mandy Moore CDs were the other two. This just looked interesting. It's the soundtrack from a French movie, Pédale Dure. Never heard of it. And the track listing intrigued me. It's got songs by Placebo, Kylie Minogue, OMD, Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark, the Pet Shop Boys, Erasure, Yazoo, or Yaz as they were known here in the States, Blondie, has Heart of Glass by Blondie, Petula Clark. The song by Placebo is Daddy Cool. Kylie Minogue's song is Can't Get You Out of My Head. Um, the Pet Shop Boys, Go West. So yeah, the track listing kind of intrigued me. The rest of it is French artists singing French songs. So, and I do have a bit of an affinity for French music. So I figured it was too intriguing for $1. It was too intriguing to pass up. So yeah. And now one more quick drink. Now we are in the actual soundtracks. Oh, actually, no, correction. One more that is kind of a compilation of soundtracks. I've got several CDs of interpretations of other composers' works, and this one was there at. Is this at? I can't remember whether it was at a Goodwill or a St. Vinny's, but John Barry, Somewhere in Time, the film music of John Barry, interpretations. I think it's mostly solo piano stuff, but yes, I've got some Jerry Goldsmith, at least one Jerry Goldsmith album, uh, same kind of thing from the same label, in fact, as well as a couple of John Williams ones and a James Horner installment. So yeah, this is on the BSX label. So yes, it does Somewhere in Time, Out of Africa, Dances with Wolves, Midnight Cowboy, High Road to China, Raise the Titanic, King Kong, and of course the cinematic classic Howard the Duck. But yeah, figured an excellent way opportunity to add this one to my BSX composer interpretations collection. So now the last 4 CDs are soundtracks. This one I have never seen the show, or have I? No, that was Fiddler on the Roof. I saw a production of Fiddler on the Roof way back when I was a little kid, a local greater Los Angeles area production of it. But I've never seen a production of this. I've never seen the original, the movie adaptation or anything. But I've heard the songs in various milieus. Obviously, the song "The Impossible Dream" is, you hear that one everywhere. But on the TV show Quantum Leap, the original version of Quantum Leap, in one episode, Sam leaped into a stage actor who was in a production of Man of La Mancha. And so Scott Bakula got to exercise his singing talents and sing a medley of songs from that. And that medley, or actually a re-recording of it, ended up on a Quantum Leap soundtrack album when they came around to doing that. And he's also, throughout the show, had several opportunities to sing. So he sings in several different styles on that album. But it's also got, instrumental pieces from the scores from various episodes. Great CD. I love that one. So it's one of my favorites. But I saw this there at the St. Vinny's and had to pick it up. It is the stage original cast album of Man of La Mancha. So yeah, I figured I'd pick it up. And yes, I've seen on the Ed Sullivan Show, I've got a couple of the very best of Ed Sullivan Show DVDs, and on one of them, it had a clip of Richard Kiley singing "Impossible Dream." So, But yes, I do want to at some point see. I don't know if I'll see the movie or if I'll find a stage production of it to go to, but I do want to eventually actually watch the production. This next one, this was a great find, one of two fantastic finds. The other one's coming up in just a minute. That I found at the Goodwill, Quickly Down Under, by Basil Polderis. I've never seen the movie, but I do have a few of other Basil Polderis' scores I really enjoy. I enjoy his stuff. But yeah, this is a expanded edition on the Prometheus label, which is another one of the several boutique soundtrack reissue labels. And yes, this one was sitting there at the Goodwill, and I looked online after I bought it, and it's going for $23 plus on Discogs. So good for picking up. I don't think I'm not going to turn around and resell it unless I happen to be just totally unhappy or just bored to death by it. But yeah, it was quite a find at Goodwill. Excuse me. I'm almost done. Got to make my voice last through this. This next one, again, I've never seen the movie, but I figured, for 99 cents at St. Vinnie's, too fun to pass up. Muppets in Space. And I don't have any other soundtracks by this composer. Jamshid Sharifi, I think is how you pronounce his name. But yeah, had to pick it up and give it a shot, and maybe I'll watch the movie at some point. But yeah, a good one to add to my Varese Sarabande collection. And then the final CD, and I'm saving the best for last. This is what I consider the coup de grace find of this whole circuit of the thrift stores. I have been wanting. This was a favorite movie of mine from my childhood, and I have been wanting. Same old story. I used to own the soundtrack, but I think I only ever owned it on cassette. And years and years and years and years ago, decades ago, and got rid of it. But I've been wanting this soundtrack on CD for at least a decade. There it was, sitting at St. Vinnie's, one tiny little scratch on the disc, otherwise in perfect condition. And yes, by the way, I actually was able to recase the majority of these CDs before the video, unlike a few of my last thrift store hauls. But yes, The Never-Ending Story, one of my favorite movies as a kid. Really enjoyed the soundtrack. It's done with all synthesizers, so it's not actually an orchestral album, but still lots of fun. Hearing the melodies from the soundtrack just bring back the fun for the movie. Well, mostly fun. I'm still the Swamps of Sadness scene, and if you know, you know, is still has scarred me for life. I'm still not prepared to rewatch that when I rewatch the movie. But anyway, yes, I was so overjoyed, utterly thrilled to actually have been able to find The Never-Ending Story, and this is one that starts at $10 online on Discogs. So yes, very, very happy to find this one and all of the CDs I came home with. Yes, like I said, am I ever going to actually get rid of my listening backlog? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to try and fight it at this point. I'm going to be hurting for shelf space though for when for the stuff I want to save and file when the time comes. But anyway, that'll do it for this video. Be sure to like it if you liked it. And before you go, drop me some feedback in the comment section. I'd love to know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon to catch my future videos, hit my username to browse my old videos. Links to my socials and my favorite fellow YouTubers are in the description below. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and remember, life's too short to be a music snob.